Good evening viewers and welcome to Hornbill TV. This is your anchor Kekrizanyo Solo, and this evening let's discuss the most happening event right now, the World Cup. From a historic night from DR Congo to a frustrating event for Portugal, one World Cup match reignited the debate surrounding Cristiano Ronaldo. When Cristiano Ronaldo plays, history usually follows. This time, so did the questions. Because Portugal's World Cup campaign was meant to start with a win, but instead it started with a stumbling draw, a frustrating night in front of goal and fresh debate over the man who has carried Portuguese football for a generation. At 41, Ronaldo is still making history. But is he still making the difference remains the question. This report examines the night Portugal dropped points, DR Congo made history, and Cristiano Ronaldo found himself at the center of the biggest World Cup debate yet. For more than 2 decades, Cristiano Ronaldo has answered questions with goals, silenced critics with trophies, and turned pressure into performance. But at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the questions are beginning to outnumber the goals. Portugal arrived in Houston expecting to make a statement, only to be left searching for answers after a shock 1-1 draw against DR Congo. While the African underdogs celebrated a historic first ever World Cup goal and point, the spotlight quickly swung back to one man, Cristiano Ronaldo. At 41, the Portuguese icon continues to defy time, becoming the oldest outfield player ever to start a World Cup match. Yet on a night filled with records, it was not his achievement that dominated the conversation, it was his performance. Has Portugal's greatest weapon become its biggest talking point? Is this merely a slow start to another Ronaldo comeback story, or the first sign of a team struggling to move beyond its biggest star? He is a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, football's all-time leading goal scorer, a European champion, a player who has spent more than 2 decades turning pressure into performance. But at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo is not making headlines for his goals. He is making them with questions. Portugal's opening match against DR Congo was supposed to be, a statement to intent. Instead, it became a statement of concern. A night expected to showcase Portugal's attacking firepower ended in a shock 1-1 draw, leaving fans frustrated, pundits debating, and the spotlight fixed firmly on the 41-year-old captain. For DR Congo, it felt like a victory. For Portugal, it felt like 2 points slipping through their fingers. What's interesting is that the story did not begin with the final whistle. It began hours before kickoff when the team sheet was released. Star defender Ruben Dias was ruled out due to fitness concerns, while coach Roberto Martinez surprised many with his selections in defense and midfield. Yet, even amid all the tactical discussions, one question overshadowed everything else. Should Cristiano Ronaldo still be an automatic starter? Martinez's answer was clear: trust, experience. Critics, however, were not convinced. With younger stars like Rafael Leon and João Felix waiting in the wings, the debate over Ronaldo's place in the starting 11 was already louder the pre-match anthem. Then the match began, and for a brief moment, it looked as though Portugal had all the answers. But just 6 minutes in, João Neves powered home a superb header to give the European giants the perfect start. Portugal were ahead, the favourites were in control, and Houston seemed ready for the comfortable Portuguese victory everyone had predicted. But World Cups rarely follow the script, right? And DR Congo clearly had not read the one written for them. While Portugal dominated possession, DR Congo dominated discipline. The African side arrived with a clear blueprint: sit deep, stay compact, close the spaces, and frustrate Portugal at every opportunity. If Portugal brought the fireworks, DR Congo arrived with the fire extinguisher. If Portugal wanted space, DR Congo practically put a no vacancy sign outside their penalty area. Every passing lane was blocked, every run was tracked, every attack became a puzzle Portugal struggled to solve. But most importantly, they made the life incredibly difficult for one man in particular, Cristiano Ronaldo. Then came the moment that changed the mood of the entire evening. Just before halftime, Johan Wish rose highest to meet a cross and powered home a header. And suddenly, the favourites were shaken, the underdogs were believing, and the stadium sensed that something special was unfolding. For DR Congo, this was not merely an equalizer, it was history. The goal was their first ever at a FIFA World Cup. The point was their first ever World Cup point, and for a nation returning to football's biggest stage after more than 5 decades, it was a moment that will live forever. Portugal, meanwhile, were searching for answers. And when teams search for answers, they usually look towards their biggest star, Cristiano Ronaldo. Or perhaps, more accurately, where was Cristiano Ronaldo? The Portuguese captain added another remarkable record to his collection by becoming the oldest outfield player ever to start a World Cup match. This becomes another milestone, another page in football history. But football matches are not won by records. They are won by moments, and on this particular night, Ronaldo had very few of them. He did manage just 2 shots throughout the game, with neither troubling the goalkeeper. Closely marked and constantly crowded, he struggled to find space and struggled even more to influence the contest. For a player whose career has been built on decisive moments, there were remarkably few to remember. Every Ronaldo looked, a DR Congo defender seemed to be waiting. Every run was anticipated. Every touch was contested. Every opportunity disappeared almost as quickly as it arrived. At times, it felt less like Ronaldo was chasing the game and more like the game was racing away from him. The numbers only intensified the debate. Portugal's expected goals figure was lower than DR Congo's. Their attack looked unusually blunt. The fluidity and sharpness that have defined this talented Portuguese side seemed absent. And Ronaldo's wait for a major tournament goal stretched even further. Naturally, the questions followed. Are Portugal still getting the best out of their greatest ever player, or are they trying too hard to accommodate a legend whose presence changes the way the entire team attacks? The debate grew louder when Cancelo thought he had rescued Portugal with a spectacular bicycle kick. For a few glorious seconds, it appeared the favourites had found their hero. The bench erupted, the celebrations began, then came the flag. Offside, no goal, no winner, no fairy tale ending, but just another twist in a frustrating night. Despite the criticism, Roberto Martinez remains calm. The Portugal coach continues to back his captain, insisting Ronaldo remains one of football's elite goal scorers and expressing confidence that his side will grow stronger as the tournament progresses. Ronaldo himself struck a similarly defined tone. Taking to social media after the match, he acknowledged the disappointment but reminded supporters that the World Cup journey is far from over. And history suggests he may have a point. Spain lost their opening match at 2010 World Cup and still lifted the trophy. Argentina stumbled in their first game in 2022 and ended up champions. As football has shown time and again, the first chapter rarely tells the entire story. For now, Portugal remain very much alive. Their destiny remains in their own hands. The tournament is still young and there is plenty of time to respond. But as Portugal look ahead to their next challenge, so does the conversation surrounding the captain. Because this is no longer just a story about a surprising draw against DR Congo. It is a story about Cristiano Ronaldo, a football icon chasing one final World Cup dream. A legend battling not only opponents but expectations. And a question that will only grow louder with every passing match: can Cristiano Ronaldo still be Portugal's greatest weapon? Or has football's most reliable match winner become its biggest talking point? The answer may well define Portugal's World Cup journey. So what was meant to be a comfortable start for Portugal has become one of the World Cup's biggest talking points. While DR Congo celebrated a historic night, Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal were left facing fresh questions. At 41, once again, Ronaldo is still making history, but is he still making the difference? Once again remains the question. Only the matches ahead will tell, but for now, the debate continues and the football world awaits for Ronaldo's response. This is your anchor, Cristiano Solo, and you've been watching Hornbill TV. Thank you for joining us and stay tuned for more updates from the FIFA World Cup 2026.